How did you handle the tumultuous times, the Charlie Sheen episode, that whole thing, his leaving? How did it affect you?
Behind every red carpet smile, there's a story. And sometimes, it's darker than you'd ever imagine. Join us as we explore the lives of 20 celebrities who face the devastating grip of addiction. From the king of rock and roll to the princess of pop, these are the shocking stories of how substance abuse derailed the careers and lives of some of the world's most famous faces. Britney Spears. Britney Spears is a global pop icon whose music and acting career helped define the 2000s and 2010s. Known as the Princess of Pop, Britney's influence on the music industry is undeniable. But behind the glitz and glamour, Britney was fighting a private battle that would ultimately spill into the public eye. In 2019, Britney made headlines as she fought to free herself from a conservatorship that had controlled her life for years. After a lengthy legal battle, she was finally released from the conservatorship in 2021, but the scars from that experience remain. The story of Britney's struggles goes back much further, though. In 2007, one of her former associates broke his silence, revealing that Britney had been using narcotics for 5 years by the time he was hired. Britney was reportedly trying to get clean, but was finding it difficult. Her struggle with substance abuse was further complicated by the actions of her conservators, who administered supplements like Adderall to her during the conservatorship. Police officer Fernando Flores, who visited Britney regularly as part of his job, described how she would sometimes shift from being calm and collected to ranting about parallel universes. Since being released from the conservatorship, Britney has made significant strides in her recovery, but the long-term effects of her years of substance abuse continue to affect her life today. Charlie Sheen. Few actors are as instantly recognizable for a single role as Charlie Sheen. His iconic portrayal in the CBS sitcom 2.5 Men won him several awards and made him a household name, bringing in millions of dollars along with it. But while fans adored Charlie from around the globe, the fortune he amassed led him down a dark and self-destructive path. Not long after reaching the height of his fame, Charlie began making headlines, not for his acting, but for his wild parties and heavy substance abuse. The first time Charlie entered rehab was in 1998, but this would only be the beginning of his long and tumultuous battle with narcotics. His struggles with addiction persisted, landing him in trouble time and again. On top of his drug problems, Charlie was also charged with assault following a heated altercation with his wife in December 2009. After this incident, he returned to rehab, but it wasn't long before he was back in the news for more reckless behavior by October 2010. Fast forward 5 years, and Charlie shocked the world by revealing that he had tested positive for HIV. While this disclosure did little to repair his tarnished reputation, it did serve to raise public awareness about the disease. Despite all this, Charlie has remained a controversial figure, known for his erratic behavior, infamous parties, and numerous scandals. His life has been so sensational that in 2011, he was the subject of a high-profile roast where comedians took jabs at his chaotic personal life. Whether Charlie will ever manage to rise above his past remains to be seen. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston, known to many simply as The Voice, was a singer and actress of unparalleled talent. Her incredible vocal range and emotional performances captivated audiences worldwide, helping her sell over 200 million records globally. But beneath the surface of her glittering career, Whitney was fighting a battle with substance abuse that would eventually take her life. For years, rumors swirled about Whitney's drug use, and in a candid 2009 interview with Oprah Winfrey, she finally admitted to her struggles. Whitney revealed that she had used marijuana and harder substances, explaining that her drug use stemmed from a desire to escape the pressures of her fame. She described how the weight of her public persona led her to retreat into her home, using drugs to numb the pain and hide her suffering from the world. Despite multiple attempts to get clean, including stints in rehab in 2003 and 2004, Whitney's addiction would continue to haunt her. Tragically, Whitney's life came to an untimely end in 2012. An autopsy revealed that she had alcohol and various drugs in her system at the time of her death, substances that likely played a role in her passing. While Whitney's story is one of talent cut tragically short, her openness about her struggles helped many others confront and overcome their own battles with addiction. Judy Garland. Judy Garland is a name that has become synonymous with Hollywood's golden age. Rising to stardom as a child, Judy captured the hearts of audiences around the world with her portrayal of Dorothy in the beloved film The Wizard of Oz. As she grew older, Judy's career continued to flourish, and she became one of the most celebrated actresses of her time. She received numerous awards, including a Golden Globe and a Grammy, the first ever awarded to a woman. But while Judy's public persona was one of grace and charm, her private life was marked by immense struggle. From a young age, Judy was subjected to intense scrutiny over her appearance and weight, with film executives criticizing her looks and pushing her to conform to an unrealistic standard of beauty. The pressure took a toll on Judy's mental health, and she began to turn to drugs and alcohol as a way to cope with the stress. This substance abuse would eventually lead to the downfall of her career. By the late 1950s and early 60s, Judy's addiction had damaged her reputation, leading to financial troubles and mounting debt. Despite her best efforts to regain control of her life, Judy's substance abuse continued to haunt her, and in June 1969, she tragically passed away at the age of 47. Although Judy's life was cut short, her legacy lives on, not only through her films, but also through the countless lives she touched with her incredible talent. At her eulogy, renowned actor James Mason summed up Judy's impact, saying, "Her greatest gift was her ability to wring tears even from hearts of stone. She gave so generously that there was never any currency which could repay her." Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, was a cultural icon whose music and charisma revolutionized the entertainment industry. His influence on music, fashion, and pop culture is still felt today. However, as his career progressed, Elvis became increasingly dependent on prescription drugs to manage the pressures of fame and his hectic touring schedule. His addiction began in the 1960s and escalated over the years, contributing to his declining health and erratic behavior. By the time of his death on August 16, 1977, Elvis was heavily overweight and suffering from multiple health issues, many of which were exacerbated by his drug use. An autopsy revealed that he had numerous prescription drugs in his system, leading to heart failure. Elvis's untimely death at the age of 42 shocked the world and underscored the dangers of prescription drug abuse. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson broke into Hollywood in the early 1980s, quickly gaining fame with a leading role in the 1981 film Gallipoli. Over the next 2 decades, Mel cemented his place as one of Hollywood's most bankable stars, delivering powerful performances that earned him a reputation as a heavyweight actor. But while his career was soaring, Mel's personal life was beginning to unravel, and it would eventually drag his reputation through the mud. A series of negative comments and deeply personal controversies dimmed the luster of his Hollywood stardom, leaving him out of the spotlight for much of the 2000s. However, Mel made a stunning comeback with the critically acclaimed 2016 film Hacksaw Ridge, which he directed. But the road to redemption was long and fraught with challenges. Mel openly admitted that he started drinking at the tender age of 13, a habit that would follow him into adulthood, leading to a string of alcohol-related offenses. In 1984, Mel was banned from driving in Canada for 3 months after crashing into another vehicle while under the influence. His issues with alcohol persisted, and in 2006, he was again charged with drunk driving, resulting in 3 years of probation. Despite his struggles off the set, many in Hollywood were surprised by Mel's ability to maintain a professional demeanor at work. His reputation for punctuality and professionalism was so strong that colleagues were shocked when they learned that he would regularly down 5 pints of alcohol each morning. Mel himself has acknowledged that alcoholism runs in his family, describing it as something he is intimately familiar with. He has said that while some people manage to overcome this struggle, it is always a miracle when they do. Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher is best known for her iconic portrayal of Princess Leia in the Star Wars franchise, a role that made her a cultural icon and a beloved figure in Hollywood. But while her career was marked by decades of success and stardom, Carey's personal life was anything but smooth sailing. In an interview with Stephen Fry, Carey opened up about her long struggle with bipolar disorder, a condition that caused severe mood swings and episodes of depression. To cope with the symptoms of her mental illness, Carey turned to drugs and prescription medication, a decision that had a profound impact on her life. "Drugs made me feel normal," Carey admitted in an interview with Psychology Today. "They kept me contained." In addition to her drug use, Carey also underwent electroshock therapy in an attempt to cure her bipolar disorder. While this treatment did not ruin her acting career, it did take a toll on her physical and mental health. Over the years, Carey developed a number of serious health conditions, including sleep apnea and atherosclerosis, both of which were exacerbated by her history of substance abuse. Tragically, these conditions contributed to her death in December 2016 at the age of just 60. Carey's daughter, Billie Lourd, spoke openly about her mother's struggles, saying, "My mother battled drug addiction and mental issues her whole life. In the end, it was those things that took her from us." Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan was once one of Hollywood's brightest young stars, catapulting to fame in the late 1990s and early 2000s with standout roles in films like The Parent Trap and Freaky Friday. But just as quickly as she rose to stardom, Lindsay's career began to unravel, undone by a series of poor decisions and a penchant for wild parties. Her acting talent and youthful charm made her a favorite among producers who were eager to cast her in their films. However, Lindsay's off-screen behavior soon became a major problem. Her late-night partying led to frequent absences and tardiness on set, frustrating directors and producers alike. By 2007, Lindsay's reputation had taken such a hit that she found herself effectively blacklisted from Hollywood. But her troubles didn't end there. Lindsay's reckless behavior resulted in multiple DUI charges and a string of car crashes, each one contributing to her downward spiral. During a court hearing for one of her DUI charges, Lindsay made a candid admission saying, "It's clear that my life is out of control and that this is due to my addictions to drugs and alcohol." She went on to say, "I recently relapsed and made regrettable decisions. I want to be healthy and take control of my life again, which is why I'm asking for medical help to do this." After completing a stint in rehab in 2013, Lindsay has managed to stay out of trouble, and it seems she has finally put her substance abuse issues behind her. However, the damage done to her career and personal relationships is a lasting reminder of the high price she paid for her addictions. Courtney Love. Courtney Love is a name that resonates across multiple generations, thanks to her work as a singer and actress, and her unforgettable presence in the world of music and film since the 1980s. But her career was not the only thing that captured public attention. Courtney's turbulent marriage to iconic musician Kurt Cobain became the stuff of legend, a relationship described by Vanity Fair as a strange love. Despite their devotion to one another, their relationship was marred by mutual drug use, particularly heroin, which would ultimately destroy their bond. As Courtney and Kurt's heroin use spiraled out of control, it led to a storm of negative press and severe health problems. When Courtney became pregnant, she made the difficult decision to quit heroin cold turkey for the sake of her unborn child. This decision, while necessary, put enormous strain on their relationship. To make matters worse, the media soon got wind of the story and accused Courtney of continuing to use drugs during her pregnancy. Courtney later claimed that these accusations took a devastating toll on Kurt's mental health, contributing to his decision to take his own life just 2 years later. Since that tragic time, Courtney has worked hard to maintain her sobriety, although she did experience a brief relapse as recently as 2018. Whether Courtney has truly left her substance abuse behind is still a question that lingers. Tara Reid. Tara Reid became a household name thanks to her roles in films like American Pie and The Big Lebowski. In addition to her acting career, Tara graced the covers of numerous magazines, including Rolling Stone, Cosmo Girl, and Playboy. But Tara's fame wasn't limited to the silver screen. She also ventured into business, opening a restaurant and launching her own clothing line. However, Tara's success was overshadowed by her struggles with substance abuse, and a botched plastic surgery procedure that left her with lasting physical damage. In a 2006 interview, Tara admitted that she had undergone plastic surgery, which went terribly wrong, leaving her with scars that she would carry for the rest of her life. On top of the physical damage, Tara's body was also ravaged by years of alcohol and drug abuse. In 2008, she made the decision to check into a rehab center, a move she later described as the greatest choice I ever made. Tara credited rehab with saving her life, and since then, she has remained in the spotlight, determined to move forward and rebuild her career. While the damage from her years of substance abuse cannot be completely undone, Tara is committed to leaving her troubled past behind and forging a new path. River Phoenix. While Joaquin Phoenix is widely recognized for his Oscar-winning performance as the Joker in the 2019 film Joker, his older brother River Phoenix was also a talented actor whose life was tragically cut short by substance abuse. In the 1980s and early 90s, River enjoyed moderate success in Hollywood, taking on roles in a number of well-received films. But behind the scenes, River was struggling with a serious drug addiction that would ultimately cost him everything. In June 1989, River's relationship with fellow actor Martha Plimpton came to an abrupt end when she discovered that he was using narcotics. Fearful that his addiction would destroy his career, River did his best to keep his drug use hidden from those around him. Sadly, his efforts to conceal his struggles were so effective that most people had no idea anything was wrong. With no one to intervene or get him the help he needed, River continued down a dangerous path that led to his untimely death in October 1993. River overdosed on drugs and lost his life at just 23 years old, leaving behind a promising career and a legacy that will always be tinged with sadness. Nick Stahl. Nick Stahl first rose to prominence as a child actor in the 1993 film The Man Without a Face, before going on to take roles in numerous television series and movies. In June 2009, Nick married actress Rose Murphy, and the couple welcomed a daughter soon after. However, their marriage was short-lived, and by 2012, Nick's increasingly erratic behavior led Rose to file for divorce. Just a few months later, in May 2012, Nick was reported missing by his wife, sparking concern among friends and family. It was later revealed that Nick had checked himself into rehab, but this would not be the end of his troubles. A few months after entering rehab, Nick was caught in a compromising situation with an adult film star, raising suspicions that he was still struggling with drug use. Although there was not enough evidence to press charges, Nick's reputation took a hit. In June 2013, Nick was arrested in Hollywood for possessing methamphetamine, an incident that confirmed many people's suspicions about his ongoing substance abuse. Reflecting on his past, Nick admitted in an interview, "I didn't discriminate when it came to drugs. I'd use anything I could get my hands on to change how I felt when sober." After taking a break from acting for several years, Nick has recently returned to the industry, hoping to rebuild his career and move forward from the mistakes of his past. Errol Flynn. For fans of classic Hollywood films from the 1930s and 40s, Errol Flynn is a name that needs no introduction. With his roles in The Adventures of Robin Hood and Captain Blood, Errol became one of the most iconic actors of his time, known for his charm, good looks, and gentlemanly demeanor. But behind the scenes, Errol was leading a very different kind of life, one marked by excess and scandal. From the early days of his career, Errol gained a reputation as a heavy drinker, chain smoker, and frequent drug user. His substance abuse was matched only by his reputation as a ladies' man, with stories of his many dalliances with young actresses becoming the stuff of Hollywood legend. However, Errol's pursuit of women would eventually land him in serious trouble. In the early 1940s, 2 women accused Errol of sexual assault, leading to a highly publicized trial that captured the nation's attention. Although Errol was ultimately acquitted of the charges, the scandal left a lasting mark on his career and his personal life. As he continued to indulge in his vices, Errol's health began to deteriorate, and he passed away in 1959 at the age of just 50. Despite the controversies that marred his career, Errol Flynn remains an enduring symbol of Hollywood's golden age. a reminder of the complex lives that often lie behind the glamorous facade of stardom. Jan Michael Vincent. Jan Michael Vincent began his acting career in the 1960s, but it was in the 1980s that he truly struck gold with his leading role in the hit television series Airwolf. As the star of the show, Jan became a household name, earning a whopping $200,000 per episode and becoming one of the highest-paid actors of his time. However, as his star rose, so too did his personal demons. Behind the scenes, Jan was struggling with substance abuse, a battle that would make his career increasingly difficult to manage. During the filming of Airwolf, Jan admitted that he was using narcotics and that he was seeking help to overcome his addiction. Despite his efforts to get clean, Jan found himself in trouble with the law on multiple occasions. He was arrested 3 times for possession of illegal drugs, and he faced criminal charges for assaulting his ex-wife. Jan's troubles didn't end there. Over the course of the 1990s, he was involved in a series of car accidents, one of which nearly took his life, while another left him with serious injuries that required surgery and permanently damaged his voice. Despite these near-death experiences, Jan's substance abuse issues continued, leading to further legal problems and more car accidents. In the end, Jan's life was a tragic tale of wasted talent and missed opportunities. He passed away in February 2019 at the age of 74, leaving behind a legacy that is as much about his struggles as it is about his success. Maciek Faszek. Maciek Faszek, known by his stage name The Rainmaker, was one of Nigeria's most beloved musicians and actors. During the 1980s and 90s, Maciek rose to international fame, collaborating with global superstars like Snoop Dogg, Michael Jackson, and Beyoncé. His unique blend of reggae and traditional African music earned him a devoted following, and his songs became anthems for a generation. But while Maciek's music brought joy to millions, his personal life was marred by tragedy and struggle. In the 2000s, Maciek's career began to decline as he battled a serious addiction to narcotics. By 2015, Maciek's condition had deteriorated to the point where he was almost unrecognizable. Photos of the once vibrant musician circulated in the media, showing a man who was gaunt, frail, and on the brink of collapse. It was later revealed that Maciek was nearly bankrupt and struggling with severe health issues as a result of his drug use. In a desperate bid to save his life, Maciek checked into a rehab center that same year. Although he managed to recover from his addiction and spent the final years of his life making music and reconnecting with family and friends, the damage had already been done. Maciek Faszek passed away in June 2020 at the age of 57, leaving behind a legacy of music that will continue to inspire future generations. DMX. During the 1990s and early 2000s, DMX was one of the biggest names in the world of rap and hip-hop. With hit songs like Where the Hood At and X Gon Give It To Ya, DMX dominated the charts, earning a place among the greatest rappers of all time. His explosive energy, raw lyrics, and charismatic stage presence made him a fan favorite, and his music continues to resonate with audiences to this day. But behind the scenes, DMX was fighting a losing battle with addiction, one that would ultimately lead to his untimely death. DMX's struggles with drugs began at a young age. At just 14 years old, he was introduced to a powerful narcotic that would haunt him for the rest of his life. Over the years, DMX's addiction grew increasingly out of control, leading to numerous stints in rehab and repeated run-ins with the law. Despite his best efforts to get clean, DMX found it difficult to escape the grip of his addiction. He often spoke about how his love for his children motivated him to stay sober, but even that was not enough to prevent a relapse. In April 2021, DMX suffered a fatal overdose, passing away at the age of 50. While his life was tragically cut short, DMX's impact on the world of music remains undeniable. He is remembered not only for his incredible talent, but also for his honesty about his struggles, which helped to destigmatize addiction and encourage others to seek help. Amy Winehouse. Amy Winehouse was a British singer-songwriter whose unique voice and raw, emotional lyrics made her a global sensation. Her 2006 album Back to Black won multiple Grammy Awards and established her as one of the most promising talents in the music industry. However, Amy's rapid rise to fame was accompanied by a descent into heavy drug and alcohol abuse. Her tumultuous personal life, including a troubled marriage and public struggles with addiction, became tabloid fodder. Despite attempts to get clean, Amy's battle with substance abuse took a toll on her health and career. On July 23, 2011, Amy was found dead in her London home, having succumbed to alcohol poisoning. She was just 27 years old, joining the infamous 27 Club of musicians who died at that age. Amy's tragic story serves as a cautionary tale about the pressures of fame and the destructive power of addiction. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman was one of the most talented actors of his generation, known for his powerful performances in films like Capote, The Master, and Doubt. His versatility and depth as an actor earned him widespread acclaim, including an Academy Award for Best Actor. However, behind the scenes, Philip battled a severe addiction to drugs. His struggle with substance abuse began in his early 20s, but he managed to stay sober for over 2 decades.
I did. I got sober, I was 22 years old.
Unfortunately, in 2013, Philip relapsed and returned to heroin use, a decision that would ultimately cost him his life. On February 2, 2014, Philip was found dead in his New York apartment, the result of a heroin overdose. His death shocked the film industry and highlighted the devastating impact of addiction, even on those who seem to have it all. Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix was a groundbreaking guitarist and musician whose innovative techniques and electrifying performances made him one of the most influential figures in rock music. His albums Are You Experienced and Electric Ladyland are considered masterpieces, and his impact on music is still celebrated today. However, Jimi's life was also marked by heavy drug use, particularly LSD and other psychedelics. His substance abuse contributed to erratic behavior and health issues, culminating in his untimely death on September 18, 1970. Jimi was found unresponsive in a London hotel, having aspirated on his own vomit after taking an overdose of barbiturates. He was just 27 years old, and like Amy Winehouse, he joined the 27 Club. Jimi's death was a tragic loss for the music world and highlighted the destructive potential of drug abuse. Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger was an Australian actor who achieved international fame for his roles in films like Brokeback Mountain and The Dark Knight. His portrayal of the Joker in The Dark Knight was widely praised and earned him a posthumous Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Despite his success, Heath struggled with insomnia and anxiety, leading him to rely on a combination of prescription medications to manage his symptoms. On January 22, 2008, Heath was found dead in his New York City apartment, the result of an accidental overdose of prescription drugs, including painkillers, anti-anxiety medication, and sleeping pills. He was just 28 years old. Heath's death sent shockwaves through Hollywood and underscored the risks associated with prescription drug misuse, even for those at the peak of their careers.